Shirley. So good to see you. Now we are doing a live Google Hangout at Yishun, Singapore. Yeah, we are here talking on the topic of smart learning, and we are at the third sessions of sharing how to do well for your exam. Remember, your ABRSM exam. And the first sections we have is the exam pieces. And the second component you have is the scales and arpeggios. And the third sections you have is actually the sight reading, as well as the last part we have oral text. And today we would like to spend a bit more time on sharing how you do well for your scales and arpeggios. I'm so glad that here I have so many teachers with me, and some of them have been teaching so many years. I believe that they have a lot to share and to share some of the tips with us how you can do well for your arpeggios and scales.
Yeah, by practicing scales, player learn the technical part. For example, how to control the tone, how to produce a nice tone, and I will ensure they will achieve this. For example, reminding them play with nice tones and with sense of direction.
Wow, this is a very good reminder. That means the student get to play the scales not just in one tone, but the student will play the scales in piano, and then in pianissimo, and you can play in forte, you can play in mezzo forte, you can play with different dynamics, right? And that will make the practice more interesting. Yes, thank you.
As for my student, I will make sure that they know the key signature and the fingering well by drawing out in their music score so that they can remember better and visualize better.
Well, I really like the words visualize. It means the student get to see and they understand. And they can remember it later, right? That's good, very good.
Yeah, it's a good reminder, but some of the students doesn't understand why they need to learn the key signature.
Well, I think this is very, very challenging because when they are young, and students sometimes they don't understand, the formations of the, the key and the key signatures and all this. But it's very important because when we teach scales, as well as important is that we are teaching the tonality, we are teaching the sense of key, different keys, right? So I think teaching this is very important. We have to bring more awareness to them. We have to teach. The scales is formed by the two tetrachords and it's formed by the whole step, and a half steps. So then they understand. All right. So I encourage teachers to use more creative tools to motivate students. So is there any other component that we think is very important besides teaching the key signatures and the fingering?
As for me, I think my students, it's very important for them to understand the different key signatures, the different components in their scales, such as the arpeggios, broken chords. As different grades, they have different components in their scale, so it's very important for them to know the different components that are in their grade.
Well, I think this is also a very good reminder. Sometimes, being the examiners for the mock exam, I realized students didn't get to practice all the required scales arpeggios for the exam. And some of the candidates even thought they only play the scales for the exam. They didn't know arpeggios is also a very component for the exam. So it's important for the students to learn each and every component, especially for grade 7 and grade 8 students. And the student not just play in the root positions, but rather for the arpeggios, they have to learn the first inversion as well as the second inversion as well. And also for the dominant 7 and diminished 7. So I will encourage teachers that you start each section slowly with the students. Okay, do not just focus too much on the scales, but rather concurrently you start your scales, your thirds, your sixths, and your arpeggios, chromatic scales, playing diminished 7s and the dominant 7 at the same time, right?
Yes. Yes. As for the lower grade candidates, they are aware that they have the minor harmonic scales and minor melodic scales. So as for me, I think I need to explain to them the concept and the format between the harmonic and melodic scales so that they can listen to their sound.
Must the student only play harmonic for the exam, or can I actually choose? I have a parent that come to me, I would say they can play anything they want. No doubt melodic is more complicated, it's more challenging to learn, but if the student like the melodic sound, why not? We have to learn all, but I encourage the student master one. Learn all, but master one for the exam. Okay?
My violin students are having a very hard time trying to get through their scales. So what I usually do with my younger students is that I use cute stickers on their fingerboard of their violin as a reminder of the finger placement. For my older students, I might use different rhythms, such as dotted quaver tied, dotted semi-quaver tied to a quaver, or I'll ask them to use different parts of their bow to practice.
Wow, thank you. You see that I think whether you're teaching piano, violin, guitar, or cello and other instruments, I think it's always very challenging for us to make the lesson interesting. And if the student already learned out, the key signatures, the fingering, the grouping, and they know the patterns and all this, is there any other thing which you think is important in the scales playing?
Yes. You have to play the scale evenly and with clarity. So after you learn all the key signatures and fingering, you play slowly with high and curved fingers, so you can produce an even sound.
Right, thank you. I think you teachers are so experienced, shared so much. I'd like to share one book with all the teachers here. This is a Piano Forte Diploma and Degree written by Geoffrey Tankard. And for this book, you can turn to page 60, and he actually gives the tips of what the examiner looked at for the 50 things will make your skills playing well and good. Right, 50 things. So I encourage students or teachers, especially young teachers, you could get this book by Geoffrey Tankard on page 60. Right? I really think this is a very good session of sharing. But even though that we know skills playing is so important, but it's always very challenging, right? Do you face any problem like the students don't like to practice?
Yes, my students always find it boring.
Yes, my students also find scales very boring.
Yeah, my students doesn't like practice scales.
Yeah, they prefer to play their pieces more instead of the scales.
Yeah, my students also like that.
It is always very challenging, right? I feel that because we are living in this very fast-paced society now. So, but yet it is very important for us to learn. So I would encourage teachers, break down your skills teaching into small components. Do not make them practice 1 hour or 2 hours of skills. I think it's almost impossible for this generation. So what you do is that just break down into 10 minutes, 15 minutes of practice, even for your lessons. Let's say you have 4 skills to learn within a month. Then you focus on one skill, just one skill per week. One skill. Then the rest of the skills for the second week, you can learn another skill. I mean, you will learn the second skill, but you can revise the first skill. All right? And break down into, don't teach your skills in full 20 minutes lessons, but rather you can do one skills first and then you play the pieces. Then you come back to revise the skills that you'll learn the other way. So you plan your lesson properly. Another thing is that I think nowadays teachers can also use a lot of creative tools. You can use story, you can use card game, you can even use drum beat. Use some of this drum beat, very interesting drum beat to play with the students. And teachers could play the accompaniment, you can improvise, and the student play the scales. You can ask the student to play the scales in a different expression, different character, play with the dotted rhythm, play in a jazzy style, so the student got interested. I think we teachers, we have to be very creative and take the challenge and make the skills learning interesting, right? Because it is important, right? Right, I hope this session really benefit you. And this is Teacher Alice. I'm with MusiKinder Art School at Singapore. If you want to know more about us or you want to join our Google Hangout Live, Google Hangout, just click below here and know more about us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.